our knowledge of the effects of cannabis and the use of cannabis is expanding all the time. We're learning how cannabis works, we're learning about the mechanism of cannabis work, and we're learning how it affects different states of disease, one type of disease, another type of disease. And we have to learn that, and we have to expand our knowledge all the time. And I'm glad to learn that the meeting of CannMed this year is going to do exactly that. It's going to tell us about the new things that we have learned over the last few years on cannabis use in medicine. And just to give you a few examples, we published that cannabidiol is effective in several neurological diseases, in particular epilepsy, many years ago. We published actually a clinical paper on epilepsy, but the use of cannabis or cannabidiol in epilepsy was not taken over for 30 years. We should not allow this to happen again. We should try to move from basic science to clinical science as fast as possible. And this, I hope, will be happening over the next few years. And I hope that by having meetings like CannMed will make possible this faster advance. And I can just mention a few diseases that I believe can be helped with cannabis, but at the moment they're not being used to any extent because clinical trials are missing. For example, diabetes type 1, which is an autoimmune disease, namely the body attacks the cells that produce insulin, and the body doesn't have enough insulin and is sick. Well, we found in animals that cannabidiol is very effective, but it has not been tried yet in humans. I believe that it will be helpful. It may be a pretty good cure, I hope, but we don't have the data. Another example is schizophrenia. About 1% of the world population has schizophrenia, and it has been shown in clinical trials in this case that it definitely is helpful. Cannabidiol at very high doses is helpful, and yet it is not being used. I have no idea why, but if we show in many preclinical and clinical trials that it's useful, ultimately it will be used. And there are many other examples, and I believe that one of the ways to expand our knowledge, to put pressure when needed so that cannabis or specific cannabinoids like cannabidiol or THC, by having these meetings, we can help. And I believe that CannMed 2018 will be one of the major, most important meetings in this area this year.